Hey, KMS Rundown listeners. You can find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Prime members can listen ad-free on Amazon Music.
It's a great
Wow.
visual.
Oh, wow. That was great.
I
Great
look
voice.
really good in a baseball uniform.
Visual was better than the audio.
Didn't hear that voice too much this week, did we?
No, it's Sydney. Smith, Sam Smith.
Eddie Ederson.
Yeah. Gentlemen, the rundown. We're back. Here we are.
We are back. We
Good to
made
see you,
it
boys.
another week.
I can't tell you how happy I am to be back with you guys on this strong, very strong network that we're on. The strength and the size and the scope of this new network. I feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. I'm happy to be with you guys. How we doing?
I'm honestly really enjoying the leadership of this network.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I have to walk on eggshells and, going to make a wrong move and get blocked.
Mhm.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah. Ziggy.
Yeah, I
Ziggy.
mean, like we said last week, we're a show about the show, so we go where the show sends us.
That's it.
I think last week we talked about the week prior being like jam-packed.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came into the week seeing a confusing tweet by Kirk, like Monday/Tuesday with Steve, Wednesday/Thursday with Whitney. So all confusion going into the week. Thinking we're getting Steve multiple days. Then that gets thrown out the window. 36 straight hours of Coleman, my guy. Red, your guy. Sheldon, he's your guy too. We all got to know and love him intimately this week. So yeah.
This is I really didn't want to show up this week. I've been boxed in. The Cole man has boxed me in on this. I was hoping that it was also too, by the way, that tweet from Kirk about the Steve. I like to think he was talking about Steve from Gloucester, not Steve.
It was confusing because it had a slash and then it had a comma and then
Yeah.
the dash, I think. So a lot going on there.
I like Coleman like to think of my Steves. Steve from Gloucester comes first, so that's how I think about it. So Coleman, yes, it was a great week for Coleman, and we'll get right into that. We're going to get right into the Monday show and getting into that long stream. My biggest issue was, and I got to go right here. I think I'm putting Coleman's dad on the hot seat because I don't understand how you can raise this, and you are fathers. I'm not going to put anything else out there, but Sheldon, you're a proud father. I know you're a great dad. If you're raising your child to be a Dodgers fan, for instance, at what point are you ever just going to not tell them about Jackie Robinson? Like, I don't understand how you get this far without knowing like Babe Ruth pitched at one point. So I'm putting Coleman's dad on the fucking hot seat right off the bat here, Sheldon. This is ridiculous.
It's not even his dad's fault. If Coleman would just admit that he wasn't the biggest giant Yankees fan that he claims to be, it would have been fine. But he claims he was such a giant Yankees fan and he knows all of it. Except then Kirk asks questions and like he knows with help Aaron Judge's number, which is fucking 99. And like he did have trouble with Mariano Rivera, but then he still doubled down. But like, no, I'm a huge fan. And then we got what we got on Monday, which was amazing.
It's a big fan.
Yeah, and he'd be asked like, "Wait, you don't know who Ted Williams is?" And he'd be like, "Not really, kind of." It's a yes or no question, like you do or you don't. So yeah, didn't know Ted Williams. Thought he played for the Cubs. Pedro Martinez. I think that's when Kirk was like, "Justin,
No, that was the
you're
biggest
fucked."
thing. When he's like, I don't know who that is.
He came up with the name Terry Francona, not having any idea who Terry Francona is, and then he guessed that Terry Francona was a coach for the Yankees. I will throw out a hot take. I think if this were naming baseball players from probably 2020 to 2022, I bet Coleman could list more players than Kirk, Mike, or Justin, because he did throw out names that like were present day players that they didn't pick up on, because that's when he was doing his podcast with Aiden, which I did pull some audio this week. I listened to a lot of Coleman and Aiden, which is funny. They're both clearly like they know some basketball. Coleman showed that this week too. And they'd be going over like the sports stories of the week. And they kept just trying to get back to basketball because like it'd be like the World Series and they would want to like they'd tiptoe around it because they don't know baseball at all. And they'd give like bare minimum information and then they'd go right back to basketball. But yeah, I think Coleman could name more. So just throwing that out there. That's a hot take.
How much of that audio did you have to listen to, Ziggy? Like, how much time did you have to
Not-
spend on 2x speed or whatever it was? How much?
Not much. It was like 35 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
I was waiting for part 6 to drop, I think, on Thursday morning.
Is there more out there? Because
there's a lot. There's like 60 episodes.
If I get the
There's a lot out
opportunity
there.
to listen to Coleman tell me why it's really great that they're injured now because they won't get injured later, I think that
was good. I am
sitting
sitting on a gold mine of a quote that I'm waiting for the right opportunity to send over to Justin.
Okay. Well, that's good. I love to hear that.
But yeah, Coleman, great week. Mike really Mike sometimes has one foot in the KMS door, one foot in the Blind Mike Project door. Not like that's great for him. Like I'm not blaming him. He was fully in, canceled Tuesday, so that was nice. Obviously Kirk like coming back multiple times at night. Obviously Justin like loyal sidekick and hype man. So like it's just a team effort. I like to think Andy Mayo could not have executed a better team bonding activity than what this was. Like the guys just really they got after it. They got close. Probably too close because they're all sick now.
Oh, it's a better workday situation for them for sure. Sheldon, when it comes to the boys and Justin, I don't know if you had an opportunity to listen to like a lot of the Coleman Justin audio, just the two of them. The Coleman Justin show is an interesting one. It's an interesting ride. I don't know. I was absolutely disgusted listening to those two eat pizza while the show was going on. They were so close to the microphone and that sound, I wanted to throw up. It was awful. And Justin kept trying to give pizza to Mike when he was like, "You sure you don't want some pizza, Mike?" And then like 5 minutes later kept offering. Listening to those guys eat pizza was awful.
Well, and Mike wouldn't take any pizza until Kirk left. But then the second day when they ordered it and Kirk was gone, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll try some of that." He's like, and then Mike will like almost threw up. This is disgusting. And then Mike's like, "Why is half the pizza gone?" And Justin's like, "I ate it." He thought that was good. Yeah.
Mike can't eat in front of Kirk for some reason, I guess.
Is it
maybe.
So it's buffalo chicken mac and cheese, but did they say it's pizza sauce and then the buffalo?
It sounded
mac and
fucking
cheese on top?
disgusting regardless.
That's a bad combination. I mean, either way, it's not going to sit well. I think what Coleman said the first thing he did was take a shit when he got home. Justin broke the seal in studio. That was kind of big news.
Yep.
Went underreported.
I don't know what we're gonna do, but I really have to take a shit.
That's how you knew Kirk was all in. Like he let it happen. Because early on in the stream, he said something like, "You're gonna have to go to Dunkin' Donuts." But by the time it came around, he was okay with it.
I'll say this too, like Tim and Canton, like I am impressed with your names list. Okay, but if you want to be a real psycho, a true psycho, how about you calculate all the calories those guys took in turn that time? That's truly psychotic stuff right there. But go ahead.
He drank so many Mountain Dew.
You asked like Justin if you asked Sheldon if he listened to the Justin and Coleman. Like, am I a bad Minifan that I didn't listen to every single hour? Because I listened to every Kirk hour. I mean, sure, I got that in there a couple times, but it was hard to the long pauses. Like I'd keep checking my phone if I turned it off by accident. So that's why it was a little bit of a shame they couldn't get the RSS feed up until like Thursday by the end of it. I mean, understandable. I guess that's why you should probably get more interns, like a legitimate intern that's there full time, that's willing to, when something like this happens, not that it happens often, but it happens. Like, who's tweeting stuff out? You know, like who's getting the RSS feeds up there.
I don't want to be critical of your guy. I know this is a victory lap for the Coleman out there.
There's two producers. It's not
I'm just saying that while Coleman's got to guess those names and Sheldon's recording, maybe they could have had. Oh, excuse me, Justin. Sorry about that, Sheldon. Well, Justin's recording. Maybe they could have had an intern in there, and I know Coleman's like top of his list during this interview process, during the whole producer search process, was getting some interns, and so I don't know. That could have really helped. I'm just saying. But
yeah,
anyway.
Takeaways from next time. I maybe this is me auditioning for a cameo on Drips in the Office, but at my place of employment, we have what's called a retrospective meeting where we go over what went well, what didn't go well, what could we do better. So what could have gone better? I guess getting the stream up on RSS sooner. What can we improve on? Legit intern team. But what went well? Contributions from everyone. Coleman did it with the help from his friends and Mrs. Thome. Which they totally hijacked her day, which it felt like part of the time it felt like Coleman was a hostage in a movie that they're interrogating or torturing, but he doesn't know the answer to what they want, right? And at other times it felt like I was the hostage. Like I couldn't turn off the stream, but you knew he wasn't going to get there anytime soon. That name had never entered his brain.
No, there's no chance.
Thome, like Frank Robinson, he's going to luck into that eventually. The whiteboard definitely was not good in the long run. Like he needed some kind of strategy, but he didn't keep adding names to it. It was like, okay, there's only 60 names in the universe, and that's it. It's like, no, there's a lot more. So if that name's not on your list, you're kind of screwed.
I was so tired of hearing Arnold's and Corey's. I just wanted to blow my brains out.
Chester,
like I was so close to booking a ticket to Boston and coming to Watertown and going Terry Tate on that whole fucking studio. I was losing my mind.
I'm not a baseball guy, Lord knows. I don't think I'd go down a long list of Cams and Camerons for baseball Hall of Famers, let alone home run hitters. So
the end when he's like, well, no, I feel really good about Joe, and it's like, stop feeling good about Joe. It's not fucking Joe. And finally Court lost his mind. He's like, his name is Jim. His fucking name is Jim. Now say the rest of his name.
I think, was it Justin that was like, all he said was Ohm, because they gave him Jim and the T, and all he got was the OME, which obviously they spelled it wrong anyway.
Because obviously Kirk didn't feel good. He's like, his name is Jim. His fucking name is Jim. Now say his fucking name. Jim.
I don't understand. I still don't understand. I guess I'll never will. Why they were so adamant about going with the first name strategy. I don't understand why that was like such a point of emphasis for Coleman to go down all these lists of these first name combinations. Like there's no way you're going to find somebody who's actually, can you name a home run hitter who has a first name and then the last name is also first name? Is there anybody?
Probably.
Honestly, the thing that drove me crazy, in the top 10 home run hitters. So he had like all of them except for 8 and 10.
Right.
And then he's like naming Xavier's and all these names that wouldn't have been around in the 70s and 80s. Right. And it's like, what are you doing, Coleman?
It was a lack of critical thinking, but I mean, by halfway through, he's obviously delusional, but he didn't really give himself a lot of like strategies early on to play off. He just went off that one strategy of going off the whiteboard. Well, and Kirk and Mike knew there was a bad strategy, but they didn't veer him in the right direction, which is funny. Eventually, they obviously kind of handed it to him, but
this also wasn't planned for fucking 4 months. And it was spring in the moment. So it's not like he had any idea that it was coming. So
I know, but you hear about those like Google interview questions, like
no, I don't.
What's the volume of like Dallas Stadium? And you got to figure out, they're not looking for the answer. They're looking for your thought process. Like it's a good challenge. Like come up with a name, and the thought process just never changed within the 36 hours.
Never heard of it. Names. I work with my hands for a living.
All right. We get it. We know. You got to give Coleman credit, though. It is a skill to name. It is a skill to name off names in succession without like saying like Jim Book, Jim Desk. Like he was giving actual names. There's no way they were going to be the correct names, but got to give him some credit there.
I will give him credit for that for sure. I am here, and now I'm kind of like I'm painted into this corner, Ziggy. You've done this, you son of a bitch, because what you've done now is like I can't give him credit without like making me feel like I'm treating him like he's a coal miner. Like he's done like this incredible work during the week when he was just sitting there eating pizza and wings and just going through a names list. But he did give us great content. So you've really boxed me in here, you asshole. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay, how about we get on the same page on this?
Please.
We can agree.
Please.
Steve never would have done this. He would never have subjected himself.
Thank you. Yes.
When he was producer to make himself look like the fool for that long. He would have given up.
There's no way Steve would have done it. And I love Dave. There's no way Dave would have stayed in there.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't have.
Yeah, he needs his wife would have killed him. Yeah, that's fair.
And then his product would have wore out, and he would have needed to fix his hair.
Would have worn out.
There's not a fucking chance.
All right, take it easy, Sheldon. Take it easy.
Red,
I love Dave. You know that. But there's just no way. Like Coleman got the shit beat out of him, and he stayed there the whole time, didn't sleep, and he drank a soda with 2 hands. And he didn't go to sleep, and he just named names. I mean, I give him credit for that.
I'm pretty sure we all slept less than Justin did that night, though. I mean, 6 hours. That's not bad.
I slept less than that. It was
Yeah,
unfucking
I did,
believable.
yeah.
That he's like, yeah, I'm crashing, and he slept for 6 hours.
But he did have like 6,000 calories, so it evens out.
so much food. That's why I was amazed this week with a lot of sleeping habits of people, but Justin sounded like a complete zombie on 6 hours sleep, and I feel like that's pretty commonplace for all of us. And then we'll get to the other guy later on.
6
too.
hours sounds amazing.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm dying. After he called his dad and worked him up about his fucking hamster. And then he
Were
went
you
to
guys?
sleep.
Were you up for the Frank Robinson?
Yes.
Yes.
I had.
Yeah.
I think I was just gotten up, but I hadn't had it on. So like when I checked the stream, I saw who was there, and then I saw the notification that it had happened before. But did you hear Mick? So thank goodness that Mike and Justin were paying attention, because he says Frank Robinson, and then I think Justin hears it first. And then right after, Mick's like, wait, which one did he get? So if it were just Mick in the room, I think he would have totally missed that he said it. And then it would have been like a stream, like the chat's going off, they get the clip. So we're lucky for Mike and Justin paying attention. Mick, I think he was there like, 3 hours, couldn't even pay attention to the names, but
Put some
still love you,
respect
Mick.
on his name. The host of Mick and the Minifans.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true. Love you, Mick.
Yeah. He's doing a great job right now. I think he's got 15 guys with him on the show. So I think he's doing a wonderful job hosting tonight. Looking forward to listening to that on this strong network.
Yep.
Is there anything else from this Coleman stream, this Jim Thome stream that you guys want to get to?
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of, sorry, Sheldon. I like the idea of Jim Thome's family, like checking in Tuesday night. I wonder how these guys are doing, because they're not on Twitter. They just maybe put it on and they hear Blind Mike's penis calling into the show, and just having no idea what's going on. I like that. I like the thought of that.
I feel bad now that now people are trying to copy the show and they're bombarding her and her kids about Jim. Like,
that was
you
weird.
fucking idiots. Like, nobody ever thought of this, and now you're just gonna bombard her and make her feel bad. So I do feel bad for her now and her kids. And out of the stream, I give credit to Coleman for not sleeping at all until like Kirk berated him to take a nap after fucking 30 some hours, and he did sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then he woke up and he looked like the goddamn bird lady from Home Alone 2.
He aged very poorly. It was, I think John from Scranton had the Obama pictures up there as far as how he aged through his presidency. It was alarming how quickly Coleman aged during that whole process.
But he held in, so I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then-
All right.
Yeah.
Again, I do. My takeaway is Coleman is just a sneaky dummy. Like, I think we all knew it, but
Yeah.
again, these are things that were said like 2 hours in. I think he said, I keep going back to Lou Almondson, which it's like back to the Mick thing we talked about last week. Is that just playing it up, or is he that dumb? I did like him saying when he got Ken Griffey Jr. and then he was like, can I parlay that with a Ken Griffey Sr.? Can you do that like voice inflection, or like maybe?
How about 20 some hours in when he's like Lou Brock, and it's like, how the fuck do you know that
right.
name?
They were trying to get him at one point to get back on the baseball name path, and they were trying to get him to guess Kurt Schilling's name, and they're like, all right, early 2000s World Series winner, pitch with Randy Johnson. He's like, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Harry Golding. And then Mike was like, tip of your tongue, that's in the back of your throat.
Yeah, Mike was really good too, because
Yeah,
Mike,
Mike,
you could definitely tell how passionate he is about baseball, and just like so frustrated with this Yankees fan who's definitely not a Yankees fan. Although he really is the perfect Yankees fan, because if you know anybody who's a Yankees fan, a lot of these guys are walking around. They probably have more knowledge than Coleman, but not much more. Like they are locked in on their Yankees and they're hardcore, but they don't know that shit. They don't know the true history of it. They're like Cowboys fans. They're just
when Mike
Yankees
came
fans.
in at the end after Coleman woke up, which I couldn't believe Mike came back, and then Mike his like pickup speech was basically him berating Coleman and then just trying to bury him, like, everyone's laughing at you, you're a piece of shit, prove them wrong. And he did that for about 2 hours, and I'm like, I DM Mike, I'm like, just give him a break. And then he said some stupid name, and I DM Mike, I'm like, just fucking kill him. There's not a jury that will convict you.
I did.
You just
No,
see
you're
Mike
good.
wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
Early
Oh.
on, like very early on, Justin was like, "At what time can we bring in ringers? Like, what does a ringer look like?" It's
Yeah,
just, I mean, first off,
exactly.
they brought in Tommy's wife. I guess that's a ringer, but anyone with a phone
Right.
is a ringer.
Yeah, I don't know who else you would bring in that situation.
The
That was
best is
awesome.
when he finally got it. He's like, God, I have a family friend that was Thome. And Mike's
Yeah.
like, you're a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
And I know I was complaining, like, not having the RSS feed, but I have been it's forced me to just like go back into random spots of the show and not start from the beginning. And even that, you can just like drop into a random spot and you get like, it's just like an enjoyable listen. Cause there's no what's the word I'm looking for? I guess content going on other than just naming names and then just like riffing off of that. But I think my favorite one, we can end on this. And if you want to move on, I can tell you to Red, because you don't like talking about Coleman too much.
It's too much.
Kirk said, if you give me one guess, I probably would not have gotten it. If you gave me unlimited guesses, I probably would have gotten it before Harvey Lick, who's a great power hitter in his own right. There's great little gems in there. Just kind of sprung throughout.
Before we move on, this thing would still be going on if Kirk didn't get sick. He basically admitted it, that he was getting sick, and he's like, yeah, we can't do this anymore, because he wanted to go home and go to bed. And then he gave him Jim. His name is fucking Jim.
Yeah. And lastly, I think this is true. I think when he told him his first name was Jim, and then he gave him the last name, the first initial, he gave him the T. I think Coleman's first guess was Jim Tim. Okay, so that
and
was
then Jim Tim followed by Jim Term, I think. I have that right.
It's like I can't. What a beautiful idiot. Okay, so this happens. This goes on, and I do believe this happens organically. But I do want to get you guys both on the record with this, just in case, because I know watching the latest rundown with Kelly Keegs, she was pretty.
So
she had
hot.
some. Well, I don't know about that. She looks like Skeletor. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, thank you. So when it comes to like what she was saying, and some are insinuating that Kirk had bigger plans, had a, this was something that he wanted to do to spite Klemmer. I don't think that. I never got that impression, because Kirk was, trying to get Klemmer's stream onto their channel. He was happy to do that. I didn't get the impression that was the case, but I didn't see you guys chime in on that or weigh in on that. So I just wanted to get you guys on the record. So Ziggy, go ahead.
I think Kirk's like the boogeyman in the New York office, because
Yes.
I think it was Kelly, someone insinuated like everyone in the office thinks that Kirk did that. Like they're convinced he did that on purpose, which to their credit, like it is something he would do to be spiteful, but
Right.
he's being genuine when he said, you can tell he means it when he says it wasn't to spite Klemmer. Like they're on good terms right now. So yeah, I think that's, I don't know, just being afraid of Kirk or what.
Yeah.
Literally, they were only a few hours in, and he's like, it said that he hopes this isn't messing with Klemmer's stream. Well, just go watch it. It doesn't matter when you watch it. Just go watch it.
Right.
Like, I think he just wanted to like show up Coleman, but he didn't expect Coleman to take 30 some hours to think of fucking Jim Thome. So, I mean, he didn't do that to spite Klemmer, which is something he would do. But if he meant to do it, he wouldn't have said that he hopes this isn't messing with his stream within the first few hours.
Right.
And I think Klemmer will know too.
Yeah, Klemmer will know. And it sounds like Klemmer's going to be coming in, right? He'll come in on the show next week, maybe possibly. I know Kirk had mentioned that. So I think they'll be able to hash that out. And I don't think there'll be any issues there. But it was amazing to see those two streams going against each other. And I think Vibbs even said it on that latest rundown. He said, you have those two streams going, and you have Jersey Jerry's stream going too. So for all three of those to be going on at the same time, he said that it's actually a great thing, because it just feeds more eyes and more eyeballs to those different streams that are going on at that time. So when it comes to that, with the unnamed show, we get to the Klemmer stream that's coming into that. I don't know how much of the Klemmer stream you guys actually consumed while it was going on, but it was infuriating for me to watch, because going into it, I think we talked about it here on the show, how ridiculous the whole setup was, where he wanted to have a fridge and he wanted to do this and he wanted to do that. So he gets all the amenities he wants, and he is literally sleeping the entire time. Now, I'm going to kick it over to Sheldon because I know Sheldon has some thoughts on Klemmer. I have a feeling Ziggy has some thoughts too. I'm curious to get to, but Sheldon, the floor is yours on the Klemmer stream.
Okay, so this has been planned out since November. Okay, so from what I understand, when I listened today, 20 people planned this out.
20.
So it's all been planned out. They put him in there, and then Klemmer doesn't like the challenges, gives up right away, and then bitches about it. He knows the repercussions of everything, bitches about that, unplugged speakers. And then he complains that there's nothing to do. And then he just fucking sleeps. Like, what the fuck did you think this was? Did you just want to go into a goddamn room and then everyone was gonna not bother you? Because, you know, this isn't a goddamn vacation. Did you think it was going to be great content? You being in a goddamn room, you sleeping in a cot, you drinking a fucking body armor every 20 seconds. You fucking dummy. You didn't do the challenges. You fucking gave up on everything. And then when you had repercussions that were coming through the speakers, then you got mad about it and unplugged them. No, we want to watch you fucking sleep in a goddamn cot. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you've mentioned that cot. You mentioned the cot there, Sheldon. I don't know if you heard that on the yak while they were yakking.
The yak. Poor Klemmer. This is so terrible. We need to save him. He's on a fucking vacation in a room with a goddamn bed. You fucking idiots. Go fucking actual do work for once in your life. And then you wouldn't be like, we got to go save this guy who's sleeping in a cot and he has food and he has water. You fucking retard. Fucking
Mayo's got serious PTSD.
Titus,
right now.
you fucking douches.
I just wanted to say that cot, it was very cozy. He said it was very cozy, Sheldon. So
yeah, that's why he slept fucking half the days.
Okay, well, all right. I'm sorry.
Holy shit. I like Klemmer, but holy fuck you.
Before I pass out to Ziggy, I did want to just quote Klemmer accurately on the yak today. He said, I tried to stay awake. I thought I'd have more activities to do to keep
you didn't fucking do them
to keep me stimulated. And then the last quote is, I didn't. So definitely throwing others under the bus on that one. But other than that excuse buffet that I just handed you, go ahead, Ziggy. The floor is yours.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple rundowns ago we were talking about this, and you were making fun of the mini fridge, and Sheldon, I think you were saying pretty much what you just said. This is a vacation for him. I think I said like he should have nothing in there, which in hindsight is a bad idea because if he had nothing in there, which he pretty much did, it's a boring stream. So if what I thought
fucking idea.
Let me finish. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So let me finish. If what I just said, which is admittedly a bad idea, gets brought up in a meeting with 20 people, 20 people should say, no, Klemmer, that's a bad idea. Like we need to really focus on making good content, which he said from the beginning. He said in his blog, he said on video, he said afterwards, like his main goal wasn't to create content. It was to challenge himself, which I'm not going to fall into that. Like, that's good for you, Klemmer. Go get him,
Do it
Klemmer.
on your own time.
That's kind of my point. But he was not hired for good ideas. This is a man who went on Barstool Idol, the finale. He made it to the end, and he pitched Barstool's Brewsters and Texas Poop Hold'em. Like, this guy does not have good ideas. He was hired because he looks funny and he runs fast. Dave, the last time him and Portnoy and Klemmer went at it, Dave said he was like the least valuable person at the company. So they're putting the least valuable person at the company on the top of the main Barstool channels. Again, it looks bad because it's like, why is Ziggy defending Klemmer? I'm not defending him. I'm just turning it around and throwing the blame at everyone else involved. Like, they should know. You need to have low expectations. If the content ideas are only coming from him, and you're going to promote that to like the most amount of people, someone else needs to be a fall guy. I think Gaz kind of snaked his way out of it by pretending to have bad audio because he ordered the code red, I think, right?
Well, yes. And so I believe, and I'll pass it back over to Ziggy, but Ziggy, I think, listen, I would love to shit on Gaz too. But in this situation, I think what Gaz is saying from the Unnamed show is right in that you have a weird person who has weird ideas, who has also a background, I believe, and not stand up, but he's got some experience in comedy.
Yeah.
Right. And he's got some improv experience. So you've got a weird looking guy with improv experience, and they've had a meeting with these 20 people who are also telling Klemmer, as Vib said, like, we need to have challenges in there. We need to make this interesting. So they're trying to do that too. I think they set him up for success. He just did not execute.
Yes, I mean, him doing an impossible puzzle with oven mitts, like, it's not that interesting. I mean, I guess the argument is it's not interesting for him to do the puzzle. It's interesting to see him freak out about it, which he did freak out. He just freaked out right away and then didn't go back to it. Same with the rice.
8 hours. He gave up in 20 fucking minutes. Yes. I wish there was something here to stimulate me. There is. You fucking gave up and went to bed.
Yes, that's a fact.
Even he literally threw everyone under the bus. If there was 20 people planning it, he fucking threw them all under the bus. I wish I had more in here to stimulate me. I wish I had more to do. Yeah, you did. You didn't fucking do it. So they stopped doing it because all you did was fucking sleep.
Yeah. And
like, it's not that fucking hard to figure out.
Like, I'm not defending it. It was terrible to watch.
It was terrible.
It was terrible to watch. There were like 3 clippable moments, but that's just maybe it's the what is this soft bigotry of low expectations. It's like you got to have low expectations with Klemmer. Going into it, you can't give him free reign for 100 hours on the main channel.
They cut the fucking stream off because it was
but this was the plan. I think it's
that was the plan.
Like, so Big Cat was saying when they did the Klemmer and Mincy thing, I didn't watch it, but it seemed like it was like good times, right? Good clips, good content. They said Big Cat and TJ, I think, like planned that. I mean, Big Cat exaggerated. He said 24 hours they were planning that. Obviously, that's not true. But you need like good content minds on stuff like this. Maybe it's just a New York City office thing. Like, Dave needed to come save the day. Chicago had to give Chicago was trying to tell them what to do from a content perspective. So they just can't do anything right. Again, they put Chris Klemmer on screen for 100 hours and thought it was a good idea to put on the main channel. Should he have done more to entertain the masses? Yes. But it's Klemmer, and his main goal was not to entertain. It was to just challenge himself. Like, he's getting a merit badge.
He didn't give a shit about the content. He basically said that today in his.
That's what I'm saying. I agree.
He's like, yeah, I didn't know if it was going to be good content or not. I just want to see if I could do it. Do it fucking on your own time. Your job is to make good content, and it wasn't. So Dave killed it. Dave saved it, and he fucking didn't even fucking admit that today. He's basically like, oh my God, thank you everyone's for supporting me. Shut up, Ziggy. Like, literally, he's like, oh God, everyone came out to support me. No, everyone wanted to shit on Dave. That's the only reason you were trending. It wasn't because it was so compelling that they wanted to watch you fucking sleep and twitch in your jeans on your stupid cot. They wanted to stick it to Dave. They didn't give a fuck about you sleeping all day.
It was
unfucking believable. And then he just thought like, oh, thank you everyone who supported me. They were shitting on Dave.
That's why it's funny, because he didn't know what was going on. So
he still doesn't know. He's delusional.
He's still no. I was having a disagreement with a jar of mayonnaise today in the DMs.
Fuck him too.
And he was actually, he thought it was at one point he thought it was okay for Klemmer.
He would, because he's a fucking idiot.
Well, hold on for Klemmer to quit the second puzzle.
Yeah,
so
when he quit.
When he quit the second puzzle, I was furious because the entire point of this was to have him go through this puzzle, get the puzzle done, and then go from there. So he set up the puzzle, he reads the tweet, and then he just quits. Right. So he sets that up and then he quits. He does what Klemmer does. He's a quitter. My biggest thing is when I had this argument with the mayonnaise man, your entire job in this is you are a slave to the viewers. You are a slave to the audience. You have to do these things. You have to make it interesting. That's your job. It's not your job to challenge yourself to sit in a room for 100 hours. That's not your job. Your job is to make interesting content for the viewers. And when you refuse to do the challenges, it's no longer interesting. You're no longer doing your job. That does not take a smart person to do that. That takes very little to get that done. So when you're Kirk or you're Portnoy and you're a genius, you make great content. Klemmer could have made very good content if he just followed along and wasn't a baby back bitch about it. That was the problem.
And we're saying like a meeting of 20 people. It's probably 20 idiots. Like Vibs, I guess, kind of knows what's going on. Like, I guess he's had a little bit of success, but not really. Not really.
Right.
I guess I would throw out there, if this were anyone else, let's say this were Big Ev for whatever reason we're doing the stream, same thing happens. He's doing nothing. Dave cuts it. does the internet rally around Big Ev or around Vibs or around like a Gia? Or is that what makes Klemmer special because he's so weird? Or like, is it a David versus Goliath, like Klemmer versus Dave, so everyone's going against Dave? Or does that happen with anyone?
No, it's people going against Dave. It could have been anybody except for probably Kelly Keegs.
Well, yeah, that's probably true too. But I think Klemmer does a great job, and it comes off as inauthentic to me. He does a great job of getting people on his side, whether it's working in the DMs or politicking at work. He does a very good job of getting these people on his side. So he was even muttering about it when Portnoy had come over the loudspeaker and said that he wasn't streaming. He had said, "Who's got my back on this? Who's got my side?" So he's already instantly thinking about who are my people in the New York offices that have my back. And I did get the impression that he was aware of what was going on because he seemed to be very inauthentic in how he was getting the puzzle and how he had kind of perked up and he was talking. So it did seem like there was something weird going on there, but
I'm
there's
just
no way to prove
happy
it.
I got something to do.
I don't.
I'm just so happy.
Honestly, I hope he apologized to Vibs because if Vibs actually like worked all this out and then Klemmer just fucking wouldn't do anything, he totally fucked Vibs over.
He threw him right under the bus.
Yeah, and then he just slept on a fucking cot. Like, I like Klemmer, but you fucking retard. You have to be a goddamn team player, and you weren't. Like, they offered to have Ben Mintz in there. No, I don't think that's that interesting. That's way more interesting than you sleeping on a cot, Klemmer. Are you fucking insane? Like, the only reason you were a star of this is because of Portnoy, because he stopped the stream, because you were terrible. Like, that stream was doubling KMS, but then at the end, KMS was tripling Klemmer. Yeah. You know why? Because watching Coleman guess random names that didn't exist was way more interesting than your fucking stream because you weren't doing anything. I hope you get that through your goddamn head.
I'm gonna put a pin in that. I'm gonna pass it over to Ziggy, who I know is a big fan of nap times at lunch, I'm sure. But go ahead, Ziggy.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit disappointing. Klemmer didn't have the eye mask because that would have really been perfect if he had the eye mask in that fluorescent room. I saw everyone saying like, "Oh, he knows." At that time, I was catching up, so I was listening on like 2x speed, so I couldn't hear like the inflection in his voice. I don't think that would be tremendous acting if he went that whole time. But the one thing we know about Klemmer is he's a stickler for the rules. Yes, he does quit the stuff that he starts, but he's a stickler. I think if someone told him, he would have been like, "No, guys, this isn't cool. This isn't cool." I don't think he would have gone along with that. I also don't know how someone would get it to him because people were monitoring that stream. We know the New York City office has rats. So that'd be a pretty risky move to somehow slip him a note. But I did like when he finally, like, it was perfect. He does the puzzle upside down and then he flips it and he just happens to have the part, like the Klemmer part, already done. So I do get why people were like, "Oh, it's fake." And then he's like, "Clay is trending, like the art project." You can't fake. You couldn't fake being that dumb. Like, that's just Klemmer. I'm sorry. I don't buy it that it's conspiratorial. I don't buy that.
Okay, but now, as you're playing devil's advocate here, Ziggy, the doggo advocate that you are, when it comes to, and that was a great joke, when it comes to him stepping out, did he disqualify himself? Yes or no?
At first, I was like, no, he didn't, just because he said the thing with the stairs. But then you hear more like the stairs was only there because if his bathroom wasn't working. So yeah, I think he disqualified. It was a surreal moment. See, like, getting the camera angle of him stepping out and peering around.
Yeah.
That was like a "where were you when" moment. I think not official. 97 hours is my count.
It doesn't even matter if he made it 100 or not. It was fucking terrible because he didn't goddamn go by the parameters with the challenges or anything, because he was talking about breaking into the lockers today, because that sounds interesting. You know why? Because he didn't fucking do anything the whole time. He wouldn't do anything that was already, is planned out by 20 people since November. And then he just got mad about it, didn't want to do it. So then he didn't do anything besides sleep and then wake up and then say move on and then move the encyclopedia and then go back to sleep. Like, this isn't that hard. Who gives a shit if he made it 97 hours or 100 hours? It doesn't matter. It was fucking terrible. Portnoy saved him, and now he's taking a victory lap. Like, yeah, I was trending. Yeah, you were trending because of Portnoy.
Yeah, and that was a genius move by Portnoy. I think my only complaint, I'm not as angry as Sheldon, Lord knows.
I'm not angry. I'm great.
Okay, all right, okay, fine. But I will say the fact that Klemmer gets done and he goes on the yak and I got to watch the fucking yak for 20 minutes or whatever it is. Ziggy,
Well,
you may or may not be a yak fan.
not anymore now.
Okay, I don't know how anybody watches that shit. They have no capacity, no ability to bust balls. It's not fucking funny at all. And Brandon Walker and Mark Titus, are the most like unfunny dudes when this whole thing is going on. They're like crying real tears for Klemmer to get him out of the room. Like somebody should tell him. There's no fun to be had on that fucking show. It's the
Yeah, they basically
worst.
just stick their finger up to the wind, and the wind is Big Cat. Whichever way he's blowing, that's kind of the direction they take. I will say though, him jumping on a Chicago run yak show is more proof. Like Chicago is just cucking New York out of a live reaction. I mean, there's no more Barstool Radio, right? If there was a Friday Barstool Radio, he jumps right on, but instead he has to go in and stream into a Chicago show. Like that's where it's like New York is just such a joke.
It's a joke, man. It's 2:00 in the afternoon and there's nobody fucking there. Like there's nobody there. So he can't do anything in New York other than just make sure he's streaming over to Chicago to talk to them.
I will say, I know I said a lot of good stuff and Sheldon's mad because I somehow like made really coherent arguments that he agrees with. He agrees with them deep down. Because the way I kind of spun it. But we can all agree that going forward, just like Smitty with quitting the stream in his text to Dave in the middle of the night, Portnoy is never going to forget this. Like anytime Klemmer comes up, he's always going to have the trump card of like him just sleeping. So he'll never, it was a good week for Klemmer in the sense he got a lot of publicity. Any press is good press. But for Dave, from Dave's perspective, he's never going to let him live it down.
No, never. And he'll need a Gia like tweet about peaches to make sure he can make up for this. That's the only way he's coming back.
Gia dresses like Kevin Smith in Jay and Silent Bob, but she's less funny.
Well, that's a great one. Anything else from the unnamed show or the Klemmer stream?
I mean, to wrap that, tie it into the other one, a Klemmer. I don't know if you guys stayed on when he was doing his puzzle at the end. He still never finished that like 100-piece puzzle. And he thought he was getting tricked because he was missing pieces, but he just like shifted part of it over.
A Klemmer and Kirk, picture of him.
A Klemmer versus Kirk stream to do a 1,000-piece puzzle would legitimately take longer than Coleman's 36-hour stream. I sincerely believe that.
I would love to have that happen and have Whitney watching it because there's nobody better at chirping both of those guys than Whitney.
Whitney was so fucking mad. How the fuck does this guy not know how you start a puzzle?
The fact that they did the unnamed show and Klemmer was sleeping through the entire unnamed show was fucking perfect.
This is what you're uprising for.
That was perfect.
This is what they want. I gotta save them from themselves.
All right, boys, the new network. We're here. So we can do some random notes too, but I did want to get into the network stuff. And I wanted to talk about the doo-doo kangaroo before I pass it off to Ziggy here. My issue with Menners, and he's lighting himself on fire. He's doing all these 10-minute videos. It's still all about him. He's a crazy person. He's one of those fans, and I've done shows with him, and I've carried him through many shows. And that's my fault for doing shows with him. And then he's bringing down, and I'm taking my audience with him. And it's unfortunate. Okay. But it is what it is. That's the past. My issue with Menners is he's one of those guys who's only there to light himself on fire. Like the three of us, like many others, like Drips in the Office and others, are just doing these shows because we're crazy. We love we love KMS, and we love talking about the show, and we love hanging out with people who are crazy about this show. Menners is not that guy. That's not who he is. He's all about himself. That's all he ever wants to be. And he always makes it about himself. And he also abuses his power, the little power that he has, as Dwight Schrute would. And he always would make sure to either like put our stuff out there and then do little edits with it and then put it out there early, or threaten to not put it up at all or anything else. So I'm so happy to be done with that crazy person, be on the network. Do I have to deal with Coleman? Yeah, I got to deal with Coleman. It is what it is. But I can't tell you how happy I am to be on this strong, growing network, even though thank you, Joe. But welcome in. BA is welcome in. John from Scranton. The Drips in the office. Mick doing Mike and the Minifans. It's a beautiful day. But Ziggy, I want to pass it over to you, my friend.
I mean, you took some shots there. I'd like to say I think Menders is down right now. You can see it in his eyes. Like his eyes are baggier than normal, redder than normal. And sure, like we've had our share of disagreements. He pulled, like you said, he pulled our first show off the YouTube because of fake views, bot views. He pulled other shows down when he
bought them.
he took other shows down, which when he interpreted what was clearly like a bit. I, for one, I'm not a petty person. You know, I don't hold grudges. I don't hold grudges. I don't wish ill will on anyone.
Wow.
I don't wish ill will on anyone that has slighted me, even the slightest. I'm not that kind of guy. So I would like to raise a glass.
Oh, toast.
Okay, that's going to bubble over. Okay, I'd like to raise a glass to the network. To the network.
To the network, boys. We're home. Wow. Oh, that tastes wonderful.
To the network, or what is left of it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you, Joe. Sheldon, I don't know if you know you're muted. You got anything on this?
It's hard to follow up as Ziggy Bits, I know.
That is tough.
Yeah, great bits. It's almost like the network would still be a thing if some stupid dumbass CEO didn't send talking points to the Faucet and the Drip last Friday to bring up on the main show. If you would have just kept your dumb mouth shut and let them be on the main show, the network would still be a thing. So just think about that, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if I've heard the answer to. Who is 98.5 and who is EEI in this scenario? Like I keep hearing that. Like, are we Adam Jones going from 98.5 EEI? Or are we Jimmy Stewart or Mark Dondero coming the other way? Like, which is which? Menders hasn't even said it.
No, he has no idea. He has no idea what in that scenario, and that's the beautiful part. And Kirk owns both networks, so I don't understand how any of that would work.
Honestly, like Kirk is 98.5 and EEI, and Menners is the shit that Jeff Cooner spread on the wall. Is what is happening.
The saddest part was his DM to Kirk saying like, all right, this is my final offer. I will bend the knee. We'll go back to how the way things were before.
And I think probably the saddest part is the fact that his DMs are in size 42 font because for some reason they haven't invented reading glasses over in Australia yet. So he has to blow it up. And
the fucking font has to be bigger than Blind Mike's. It's insane.
So as he's on his knees begging to have this network back to Kirk, it's like every 3 words you have to just scroll through on that fucking phone of his. It's unbelievable. But hey, listen, we're not here for this, okay? We take the high road, even in North Dakota. Okay, we're taking the high road, right, Sheldon?
Yeah, we're high.
We're high. We're way up there. So listen, I'm just here to celebrate. I love the Drips in the Office show. I think that's a really good one.
I think a YouTube comment.
They took a shot at me, but that's fine.
That was just a YouTube comment said it was impressively boring, which is
really
to sum it up. 38 minutes of just pure unadulterated drippiness.
Talking about diapers on the side of the road and human. Ziggy, have you ever thrown a diaper on the side of the road before? That sounds like something awful to do. That's a criminal.
Yeah, we've seen the pictures of Pat. That's the Pataville. That's the Pat of the dirty stash.
that should be a
he regretted
crime.
it. He said he regretted it.
Wow. Anyway, anything else on the network, guys, before we get to the random notes or anything?
Well, what's left on the network? I don't even know.
Well, hopefully not Steve from Gloucester. We're still waiting for that. It's like the white smoke with the Pope. Steve is our Pope. We need that white smoke to come up. He needs to join the real network, the KMS network.
Freedom.
That's all we're missing. That's all we're missing at this point. Steve
so hopefully we get that. Hopefully he's in studio for that. I know Sheldon. I know Ziggy has a copious amount of random notes. I usually have a few as well. I'm going to kick it over to you, Sheldon, to start us off with random notes, and then we'll just popcorn around. We'll just ping ponging around here.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have one.
I got a feeling you're going to be very calm about this. I know that. I have
very
a good
calm
feeling about that. Yeah,
I'm very calm.
Yeah.
So this dumbass has been brought up a few times because he's fucking terrible. Mayo did apologize finally for being a douchebag, and I got his tweet right here. Number one, I apologize for the stand-up debacle. You should, because you fucking used your material that you used on your shitty stand-up set on the show, but didn't bring it up to Kirk or the show when you know that would be content, you idiot. And then he goes,
I'm going to pause right here for just a second, just so folks don't know. This is actually a segment in this show that I want to work on. Red bits here with Sheldon. This is where Sheldon picks Mayo's shittiest tweet of the week and talks through that and breaks it down. So please go ahead. The floor is yours, Sheldon.
Tweet is terrible. Number two, I encourage Kirk to share the non-existent receipts of me emailing Erica because I never emailed her. He says email twice because he didn't email her. He fucking DM'd her. And that's in an old show, Mayo, you fucking idiot. And I'm going to find it and I'm going to throw it in your dumb face. It's going to happen. And then he goes, number three, I would never delete Twitter, which blah, blah, blah. You fucking should. You already did once and ran away. And then he came back and you blamed Kirk and Steve for making you quit your job, you idiot.
I don't think technically he didn't
shut
delete
up.
his Twitter. He didn't, no, this is
yes, he did.
He gave his password to his wife so that he wouldn't be tempted to log on to his account.
Oh, God, same fucking thing.
And that's an important correction. That's
number four. He goes, I was fucking joking about the bonuses. You weren't fucking joking about the bonuses.
He wasn't joking about the bonuses.
Asshole. You brought it up multiple times that show that you told them that you didn't think they deserved it. It's not your fucking money. It's not your company. Shut the fuck up, you dumb shithead.
I'm a Mayo man, and I know
they got the fucking money. It's their job. If they deserved it, they got it because they deserved it. It wasn't coming from you. What do you care, you asshole? I don't tell you about your stupid fucking workshops, you dipshit. So who gives a shit if they got a bonus?
Hey, those are seminars, you piece of shit. You show some respect.
Anyways,
all right. That was a really good random note. That was really good.
Very random.
It was very random. My random note is actually, I need to know if either one of you are as mad at Patrick Ewing and Kevin Hart as I am. And I don't know if there's other people out here like me.
This is also random, but yeah.
This is all very random. But every time I would log on to or check in on YouTube, on my YouTube app, every single fucking time there is the DraftKings, which hashtag DK partner. There's the DraftKings Patrick Ewing and Kevin Hart commercial that pops up every single time. And throughout this week of streams, that's all I ever saw. So I get it. It's like an offensive rebound. Okay, Ziggy. All right. Okay. You get this free bet going. Yeah. Okay. So Patrick Ewing, I want you to die in a fire. Okay. That's what I want. All right. That's my random note so far for the week. Ziggy.
I'm going to be a little less random.
Honestly, I never saw that commercial.
Really? Am I the only one who's getting this? Because
Sheldon's got YouTube Premium. He's bougie.
Oh yeah, you son of a bitch.
I honestly never saw it.
Coleman. I don't know if you guys noticed when he was listing off names, and then if you remember back to when he did the video when he was testing audio and he was like rapping about the different mics, he has this like rap hand thing where he would go like in beat, like Ed Jones, Ed Cleary, Ed Clancy, Ed William, and he'd keep going like faster and faster. So that was nice. I call it the rap hand. That was one random,
so white,
more KMS focused note. Another one, I will apologize, similar to Mayo. I did, or to more clarify, I did not call Justin's dad a liar last week.
Oh yeah,
I said Justin was a liar for the gerbil story, not for his dad lying about the gerbil story.
He was.
PTSD is very serious, nothing to joke about.
Come on.
But I don't believe that Justin was out there with a gerbil, which his dad called it a hamster. So just throwing that out there. Again, I'm not throwing aspersions on his dad, but just saying I didn't say his dad lied. I just said Justin lied. Just want to clarify that.
I did love that moment because then what you did, Ziggy, was then you planted a seed with the Drip Lord, and the Drip Lord seemed to then push it a little further. And then Justin calls his dad at 10 o'clock at night and randomly asks that's like the unspoken, the thing that's gone under the radar the most, I think, is he called his dad at 10 o'clock at night to talk about his PTSD.
And then hung up on him.
And then I think he realized it was a mistake. Yeah, hung up before.
Called him and told him that people don't believe him, and then just hung up on him.
And then never called him again.
Never called him again. That was beautiful. That
Oh
was
my
beautiful.
God.
That's a great random note. Sheldon, you're into politics. Me, not so much. Like Thursday night, I'm logging off. I see all the Biden hot takes. I see them all. Craig, Coney, back off, buddy. You gotta tone it down, my friend. Okay, but I know you're deep into politics, so I got to ask you. Coleman's political hot takes this week. What are your thoughts? Could you explain them to me, please?
I can't explain his hot takes, but I will say that YouTube, you won't like this. Rumble, you're welcome. Joe Biden is terrible. He has terrible takes and he's on drugs. And if you don't fucking see that they're just propping him up, you're a fucking idiot.
Sheldon, immigration, yay or nay?
Legal, yes. Crossing the border and having a senile president fly you across to random cities, no.
His takes are pretty
This
terrible.
isn't
just 'cause
fucking Ellis Island.
It's a young kid that thinks he's. It's him saying that Steve was his idol does explain a lot. Unfortunately,
Are you
This
concerned?
isn't immigration. This is
No,
illegal.
I'm not.
And R.I.P. Lincoln Riley, because I heard he was dead.
I had something happen to me that I did not tell you guys this week. I lost my Montante phone call virginity. He DMs me 2 days ago, I think, and he's like, I got a great idea. We got to talk ASAP. And it could be network. It could be fantasy baseball.
Yeah. But by the way,
it was fantasy baseball.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I was not here. I need to get this, jogs my memory. You and your fantasy baseball, this whole thing that you're running, this whole Ponzi scheme.
Yep.
I know damn well at some point at the end of, I don't know when fantasy baseball ends. I don't give a shit. Whenever it does end, I know you're taking your millions out. Whatever you're doing with this money, Ziggy, you got a hell of a thing going on here.
I put it in a CD. I get like 5.5% for 6 months, and then I pay it out to whoever wins. A lot of times it's me, so I'm just paying myself. But
all right, well,
Montante had this idea that we'd start a second league, like a minor league, some relegation up, some come down. He did mention like him getting a finder's fee. That was a little interesting.
Another revenue stream.
Yeah, he mentioned like his new Minifan neighbor was going to have a couple teams in the league. So I don't know what's going on with it. Next week I am going to start shaming people that haven't paid yet. So still waiting on two final important spots. More to come probably that week. But yeah, I did lose my Montante phone call virginity.
Wow.
It was exhilarating. I mean, it's kind of everything you dream about.
How long did it take?
I don't like the tone that you were saying, so you need to knock that shit off.
How long was the conversation? How long does it take to get him off the phone?
It was like 6 minutes. It was nice. It was a nice, friendly conversation.
Okay.
Enjoyable. In and out.
Sheldon, any other random notes?
Yeah, I got one more random note. I saw another really shitty tweet this week. I won't say who it's from, but I saw this come across my timeline, and it goes, you can't hate Coleman after this. You just can't. Team player.
Is that red?
You son of a bitch.
No. And then the next tweet goes, no matter how or when this ends, I just hope Kirk insists on recording a regular episode the next morning and kills Coleman for the whole time for being off his game. Those are back-to-back tweets. Can we guess who that's from?
I got a feeling that you're...
Yeah, it's from fucking Mail because he's a goddamn piece of shit. Fuck you, Mail. You are a fucking loser.
That is a roller coaster.
Those back-to-back tweets. You can't tweet those back-to-back, you fucking hypocrite. God, put something in between about how you were out shopping for polos or something. They can't be back-to-back.
Cargo shorts.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go on the limb and say that second one was a joke, but again, Mayo just doesn't know how he doesn't know how to tell it.
Oh God, he's
his jokes.
So funny. He's such a fucking comedian.
I didn't realize those were back to back.
They were literally back to back.
Mayo, you son of a bitch.
Oh my
All right, I have one more. I have one
Please.
more good one.
Please.
Cullinane jumping in like 34 hours in,
I
trying to
didn't know
hit,
he was still alive.
trying to give his advice on
Yes.
Coleman.
I love this
Hey,
one.
Tell him about his OBP. It's 402. That'll jar something. Which actually wasn't
the-
what behind the scenes. That wasn't what Dave actually meant. He was sending a tweet, a batting. I don't know, batting stance guy. He's just a guy that imitates batting stances. He was sending a tweet of him doing Thome, and his idea was like, he just blur out the name Thome. Just show him this batting stance of some random guy, of doing another random guy to Coleman's batting stance, and he will surely get it. Like that will jog after 34, 35 hours. Cullen, come on.
Oh,
We don't need you. We don't need you in this venture.
Coleman
You're not
was
along for the
staring-
ride. You're not along for the ride.
Coleman was staring at a picture of him in his Indians uniform in his batting stance. No, not a clue.
Tell him he had high socks.
that is so perfect, Cullinane. I love that.
When he said
Oh.
that, and it's like, what? That isn't going to do anything. Like, what are you talking about?
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to take my Patrick Ewing hate somewhere else because I didn't find an outlet here.
I didn't see the commercial. I'm sorry.
No. I'll when I go home tonight, I'll make sure to sleep for 12 hours unless Vibs can give me a puzzle to do. Anything else, boys? before
Red,
we
next
get
time,
outta
can
here?
you come with a prepared opening? I do like the John and Warren. I don't care how manila your folders are. Like, can you come with a little bit more preparation? We're giving Klemmer a hard time for not thinking about content. Can you maybe try a little bit more next week?
I gotta get some.
We got to
better
up
bits
our
in there.
game. Up our game.
Yep. No, and I appreciate
Iron
John for
sharpens
doing
iron.
that. That's right. So welcome to the network. I'm happy to be here. We're home. Thank you, boys. That's the rundown.
Thank you, Kirk. Thank you, Joe.